Hello, everybody. I hope you are well and welcome to Personal Branding for Your Success. And it's another crazy week for me, but I've got so much emotion. But we're at the end of the week and Easter holidays are upon us. But I've got an amazing guest that's joining us today, and it's quite late where he is at the moment. But I would love you to meet Ed Vondra. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Hi, Kitty. Hi, everyone.
So
Pleasure
Ed
to
is
be here.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. And there's just so much I wanted to learn about you because obviously you've got such an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've been watching you on social media for a very long time. And I know you help a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners to position themselves in the digital market and stuff. And you've got such an amazing background as well, and it's very diverse. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
At the moment, I have already like 20 years experience of doing sales and marketing, supporting corporates at one point of my career. Then I moved to supporting small business owners, entrepreneurs. And for the last 5 years in Japan, in Tokyo, since I'm originally from Croatia, but I'm living now in Japan, I'm supporting female entrepreneurs, business owners, mompreneurs, models, and artists.
So how did you get into sort of supporting that particular niche? Is there some, how did you sort of think, oh, actually, I'm going to support women as opposed to men, or the bigger picture?
Studied MBA here in Tokyo. So I was an opportunity to meet many startups, and I joined one tech startup who was responsible to develop one mobile application.
Right.
And the first time I faced that there are not so many women in entrepreneur world in Japan, and I was a little bit surprised because in Europe that was not the case, especially 10 years when internet becomes so strong and popular. So you can see all this diversity, but in Japan that was not the case, and I was always thinking diversity is the best way to be innovative. So then I started to talk with the people, local people here in Tokyo. Why is that the case, and how we can make workshops for entrepreneurs here in Japan to attract more female entrepreneurs, because men also have to take responsibility of the family.
Right.
Because the environment changed, the business environment changed, and society changed dramatically from the time when Japan was like in a huge growth rate after World War II. So that's how I started, and then gradually extend from hobby to some community, from community to business. So that was transformation in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's quite a culture shock as well, coming from Eastern Europe all the way to Japan as well into the East. So I mean that's amazing, and obviously with what you're doing, obviously it transpired over time as well, and obviously you're building your own personal brand. So how have you managed to do that in obviously with what you're doing as well? Because I know you have several businesses and things that you're doing as well. So tell me how you're building your personal brand. I won't give it away because I see you on every social channel, but I'd love the audience to hear more about what you're doing and how you are building your brand.
As a foreigner in Japan, you realize soon that you have to come up with something to be attractive for the people, for the clients, but also for the in the business world. If you don't have something to show, you can go in direction that you feel as a minority. So I worked closely with one coach, and she was responsible for the personal branding in Asia. And that was a very different approach than what we are thinking about personal branding, because it was more about positioning yourself in Asian culture. And I really enjoyed through that transformation how I recognize we culture instead of I culture.
Right.
And how you can combine personal brand and we culture, that it works in a good flow. So you can be individual, but also part of the team. And that was very new experience for me from Europe, where it's all about individuals, strong individuals, similar as in the US. And then I started to be curious how I can help people Asian people at the beginning to feel that they are responsible for their life, so they have to be visible and show what they can do, their talents, their achievement, visibility, in order just to get better opportunities for the life, for the business. So gradually I become very passionate about branding. And then I connect my previous experience, which was like branding for the corporate world. So typical marketing, building the logo, building the story, building the audience. And then I connect those two together. And I come up with a business, which is a branding and positioning with that. So basically, it's how I'm helping my clients to really understand deeply who they are, what they do, what is their unique point, what they can do great, and then put that in the context of the social media and today online world.
Yeah, so you're on lots of channels as well, and I've noticed you've recently been on Clubhouse as well. So how are you finding that in terms of building your personal brand as well? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, I've tried it, I'm not sure, and some people love it in terms of getting visibility. How are you finding that?
Okay, so online world is a busy world, especially from the last year when we are kind of forced to use online more than offline because of the pandemic. And it's very noisy on the different platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Here in Japan, you have Line. In some other countries, you have different social media platforms, Twitter, whatsoever. So Clubhouse, because audio space is still new one, and you can position yourself in that audio world much faster on the Facebook or Instagram right now. And still is very exclusive community because it's only for iOS users, and only you can jump in if somebody invites you. And Clubhouse went very well in Japan because Japanese people, they like exclusivity, they like invitation, personal network.
Yeah.
So what I found, it's interesting dynamic, and you have opportunity to talk with the people 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, which you cannot achieve on a different social media. You get like 1 or 2 seconds impression, and then people have to be attracted to click and maybe invest more time to see your content. However, on the Clubhouse, you can really connect deeply, and then follow up on the Instagram or Twitter. It depends what platform you are using.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it as well is that you can just jump out. If you're not enjoying the conversation, you just come in and come out, and I think that's great. So what do you think a lot of people are getting wrong with their personal branding?
They are building something don't have credibility, they don't have passion, they just build something because they think this is good because it's trendy, but there is no connection between what they try to build as a brand and who they are.
Yeah.
And that audience can recognize it easy. It has to be something which really attractive, which really wake up you in the morning, really have the passion that you're gonna do, create that, whatever that might be, product, service, content, for the people who you wanna serve. And then people will understand if it's coming from your heart or if it's coming from some other place. So that's a common mistake which I found.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to have passion in what you do, because it just shows, doesn't it? If you don't enjoy what you do, and even if you're skilled at what you do and you don't enjoy it, there's no point. But no, that's a really great answer. Understand how you got to the name. I understand it now, but can you tell us more about CROZEN Company Limited that you're co-founded as well?
Because CRO, it stands for Croatia. As Zen, it stands for the Japanese Zen philosophy.
Yeah.
So CRO is something which is dynamic, and Zen something which is peaceful.
Yeah.
And actually, one of my favorite designers from Italy, Benedetta, she helped us to come with the concept of the brand. And so we created the logo. We launched the company just in January this year. It's a register for the online business, online education. But my market is obviously focusing on the Japanese market, and I have a global market. But in the future, who knows? It might extend to something else as well.
I think you do lots of things. You're on Clubhouse. You've got your business. You've got your digital startup academy. You've got your branding positioning with Ed, and then what else? You've got podcasts as well, haven't you?
Yeah. So podcast is the content which I'm working with female entrepreneurs like yourself, and what I provide for the members to share their stories and their business. And that content is obviously on the YouTube platform, but also in the Facebook group. They have exclusivity to see it first, and on the Instagram. So the purpose of this is to inspire other members and other women, that they can see that the language which entrepreneurs are speaking is a universal.
Yeah.
Because in our community we have people from 70 countries. Not only like the big countries, but also small, tiny countries, and we are on the old continents. And when you're listening to the story of these women, you can find they have similar problems, and how they sorted out the problems to become who they are today. Some of them, they are already like very successful, 6-7 figures business. Some of them, they are just starting. So they can really learn from each other. And my goal is to show that today in our online world, if something is positive in all this mess, we can connect easy with people who we like and trust, and we can grow and expand the opportunities much faster and easier than in the past. So that's the purpose of this podcast show.
Yeah, I love it. It inspires a lot of people, and it's great in this world of digital age. That's how you found me as well. But how, obviously you're so busy all the time. What do you do for downtime? Do you have time to relax? And obviously you've got children and wife and stuff. What do you block out? Obviously, do you work weekends, or what do you do to just chill out?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because my business partner Michelle from Singapore, she's a business owner of 4 different businesses, and she's mom of 3. So when I compare myself with her, actually I have lots of free time. So actually I have enough time to spend with my family, and to exercise, and to have a relaxed time. Because I think you cannot be productive if you don't find the time, meditation, for the sport activities, for the organizing your day, week and month, that you have allocated time for something which I call just doing nothing, or reading the book. That's super important for me. So I always try to find some balance.
Yeah. That's brilliant. It's important to find that time as well, even if it's doing nothing, because I love doing nothing. I don't get a lot of time to do nothing. Yeah, but yeah, that's lovely. And so let's get a little bit more personal with you then. What is something that people misunderstand about you?
I'm a foreigner in Japan. It's an island country, and then the common question is, where did you come in Japan, and how long you're gonna stay? So then I have to explain that I'm here with my family, and I have my business here, and that my home is here right now.
Yeah.
I'm not looking as an Asian, as a Japanese. So that's maybe something I always have to explain, but I understand, because my wife, she was a foreigner in Europe, and she was asked the same questions from the people in Europe. So that's something which I always have to explain. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But that's great. That's a good answer. So who are the 3 people who have influenced you the most?
It depends about my journey. If you ask me this question 20 years ago, and 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and today is different, but I can share who inspired me today.
Okay.
So my mentor, Jeff Walker, because we both learned from him how to do internet marketing. So he's one. And the second one is Roger Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's an entrepreneur. So he was my mentor before, and I like his system, well profile dynamic test.
Yes. Yeah.
Which how I discovered that I'm creator, and it's kind of a good mix of West and East philosophy in one. And number 3 is one entrepreneur from Croatia. So he literally started his own business by borrowing some 2,000 euros, and he now has a company of 200 people. So yes, his name is Kronos Location. So maybe those 3 are my influencer for what I do right now at this point of time.
Wow, they just sound amazing. Yeah, obviously they're all amazing people, so it sounds great, and I love the stories behind it as well because they're all so inspirational. So if you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell yourself?
I would say trust in your intuition much more than I was trusted at that time.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's always like, yeah, the older self is always so much wiser, isn't it? Okay, so obviously we've been in a whole year of the pandemic and everything, and we've been in lockdown a lot, and we're still coming out of lockdown in the UK from the 3rd one. But since lockdown, what new skills have you learned?
I have to say it was really big struggle for me because I like dynamic in life. I like to travel to the office, talk with the people. So first 2-3 weeks was actually good time because I haven't commute and I spend more time with my wife. But then quickly I realized this is going to take longer than we expected. So I did the pivot for my business, and then I shift everything from offline to online. And then I launched this Digital Startup Academy. So literally in 2-3 months, I completely changed my business model. And that was the biggest transformation. And from that time, I realized this is not just like temporarily. So in the future, we can see it's going to be, in the best scenario, hybrid between offline and online.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest learning point for me.
Yeah, no, it's like, I think it's for everyone. Like, people just learn new things. Some people learn to bake and stuff, but no, it's definitely when you've got a completely different business and being online. It's good for us because we are online and we're on digital. But obviously for others, it's like you have to pivot and change and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's lots of things. I'm still thinking what I've learned to be more patient and say no as well. So, but yeah, the first 2 weeks were like stressful for me. I wasn't enjoying it, so I had to learn to calm and just roll with it because it's out of your control. Let's put a positive spin on it. I'd love to hear what sparks joy into your life at the moment.
It's what I'm doing right now with Michelle. I think in the business is always one of the difficult part to find the right partner. So at the moment, this is something which really inspires me, and her vision and our collaboration, because we have a different skill set, different experience, that really inspire me right now.
Amazing. It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's always important to have something, working with good business partners as well, and having that good understanding of each other as well. So that's really, really nice. Actually, what are the big things that you've got lined up in the next 5 years, or the next big thing that you're going to be working on, if you can tell us?
Yes, so the vision with my community and with also the Digital Startup Academy and CROZEN is to really make an impact. And this COVID pandemic really changed people's life. And I want to help people to focus on what is opportunity here and how they can be in the position that they are self-confident, they feel healthy, and that they feel that they have control on their own lives. So my vision is actually to increase the impact, to help as much as I can people. And I cannot do alone.
No.
So that's why I want to collaborate with people like Michelle to increase that impact, to share this bigger vision than my company vision or my community vision. So I really want to have a huge impact on the millions and millions of people. But I cannot do by myself. So I'm looking for the people who want to do the same with me.
Yeah, that's a really good approach as well, because that's similar as my vision, is to touch as many people, in terms of getting their impact and getting seen, and because people need that help as well, and not everyone knows how to. And you're right, you can't do it on your own. And we have very similar things that we do with personal branding, helping people. And, you know, you could say we are competitors in a way, although we have different strengths and skills, but we're doing the same thing. And, you know, I see yourself as a peer, not competition, because I could easily say, no, I don't want Ed on my show because he's just going to nickel my people from the group. But it's not it. I want to learn more about you. You're in a completely different journey to me, because where I see myself, you know, in a 5 years time is a completely different world. I might be changing, and, you know, my entrepreneurial journey is changing, and I don't know where I want to be just yet. You know, I'm doing this because I love it at the moment, and, you know, I care about the people that I help, and you know, and like yourself, just to inspire people and get people to be seen. So I think it's great to build, you know, that community of people that just want to spread the word, because a lot of people think, oh, actually, no, I'm not going to talk to that person because he does the same thing. It's like, well, actually, the clients, it's about resonating with your audience. You have a particular audience. I have a particular audience. They might not like you, but they might like me, and vice versa. So everyone has their own, and that's why you build your personal brand, to be uniquely you. So it's just, you know, I think it's great. Your vision is great.
I would say, especially in 2021, the concept of competition, which is used to be, is very different. So I see more like keyword now is collaboration, because we have so much bigger problems to solve, which we cannot do as a small individual companies. We have to collaborate because our problems are huge: economical problems, environmental problems, lifestyle problems, how we can incorporate artificial intelligence in our life that actually supporting us instead of compete with the humanity, education system, healthcare system. So there are so many problems, and we as entrepreneurs, we have to really collaborate with each other to solve these problems instead of just compete on the small scale between each other. And you are right. People who want to work with you or with me or whoever, they will recognize what kind of transformation we can bring in their lives.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely perfect. So could you give us one piece of advice to the audience about life or business? One top tip or nugget.
Yeah, so I would say, if you are thinking to become a business owner, first be honest with yourself. Are you responsible for your life? Because in order to be a good business owner, you have to be responsible for yourself first. And if you are clear about that, then you can increase the impact to be responsible for your family. And then you can be responsible for your community. And then you can go to the next stage or next level. So if you are not in position that you can support yourself, then first figure out how to support yourself in order to support others. Because what I found, some people, they have a big vision, but they don't follow the natural steps to get there. And they have expectations which are not real. So be honest and with yourself. That's very important to become a good business owner.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice as well, because you can't rush things. Things go wrong when you rush them, and, you know, set yourself a timeline and work to it. It's about being patient as well. I mean, I've got a vision of building my personal brand. You know, obviously it went to pot last year, but I'm still working on it, and I've got a vision board. So I just follow those steps. There's certain things I want to do, but I'm not going to rush it because someone else says, oh, you should be doing this and doing that. But I'm not going to listen to them. It's what's right for me at the right time. So great piece of advice. Thank you. But yes, so I've come to my end of the interview, actually, Ed. I know your time is precious at the moment as well, and it's late in Japan, so I don't want to keep you up any further. But it's been such a pleasure speaking to you, and I know there's probably more questions I could ask you and stuff, but, you know, I think we've managed to capture an essence of who you are as well, and all the great things that you're doing, making impact and sharing the love of building brands and positioning people in the market. And I think what you're doing is great, and I'm still following you, and, you know, I know we'll collaborate in the future and other things as well. But there's a lot of female entrepreneurs in this group as well, so I would, you know, advise them to follow Ed as well and see what he's doing. And possibly there could be some collaboration with interviews with Ed, because I know some people in this group already has probably had an interview with you. And I know Anetta, I know she was in the group. She joined us earlier as well, so I know she was she had an interview with you recently as well. But yeah, no, thank you so much, Ed. And I will pop. Oh, actually, before I go, where can people follow you? I know I'll share the links as well, but where's the best place that people can actually reach out to you?
Yeah, you can just find me on the Facebook or Instagram or Clubhouse. So those three are main platforms we are using.
Such a pleasure, Ed. And thank you so much for being on this show as well. So yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Katie, thank you so much for this great opportunity.